Hello, my name is Josh Atkinson, and you have once again wandered into my portrait painting YouTube channel, which it has not been for the last 2 weeks. But now we're doing another portrait. Oh, isn't that charming? Something nice and gentle for the new year. I don't know. I can't always explain why I'm drawn to darker things or turning myself into a dark thing, but I am. I thought this was a very captivating subject, and so without more prattling, I'll just move over to the time lapse. So this is the source image, and here's our time lapse. You can see a failed painting of Linda Blair as Reagan McNeil in The Exorcist underneath this one. Um, I know some people have a lot of beliefs about having a blank, whether that be white or painted over canvas to start with, but sometimes I just don't pay attention to it. I just paint over it. Anyway, so I'm starting with my loose appropriation of the Andrew Loomis circle. The subject's gaze is somewhat up and over to the side, so the line was up, not in the middle. This is more of a, I guess, more expressive style I'm going for here. I was drawn to this somewhat unappealing, uh, unattractive subject matter because I wanted, uh, like a justification, not that I need one, to paint in a really rough manner. You can see I'm throwing sap green right on his skin tone. I'm throwing all kinds of yellows and reds. This dude has a massive swollen eye, and I was just like, okay, there's no pressure to make this beautiful. So, this is, I actually do by the end of it get it to be kind of pretty smooth, but I leave certain things that are not the focal point, which I'll give you three guesses. It's the eye. Um, Things that are not the focal point, like a hand that's on his shoulder and the shapes of his upper torso, his neck and shoulders, stay kind of loose because because I'm not trying to make them focal. But so yeah, I dig ugly and horrific. You know, if you've subscribed to my channel, which I would advocate for, um, you know that I paint a lot of horror movie subjects, but my real goal is more like finding the disgusting in mundane things, finding, I don't always want to be relying on movies. I want to be finding subjects from real life and finding a way to make them uh I don't know what the right word is, but confrontational or just, I don't know, there's just something rougher that I'm striving to get to in painting than just straight up beauty. But anyway, as far as how to paint this man's name is Anthony Yajid or I don't know, I can't pronounce it. But if you just Google uh, injured boxer, I'm sure it'll come up. But yeah, there were some shades of violet in his swollen eye, um, permanent rose, and a little dioxazine purple, I think. But this one, I really just threw it all color-wise and brush stroke-wise. I just got kind of aggressive because this sort of subject is not is not suggesting beauty. Although you can actually still see like he is a good-looking guy when his eyeball is inside of his head. You know, can't say that about everybody. Yeah, see, like there, I just did the cheek really dark, and I probably mitigate that somewhat, but I don't want this to be super. I want it to be resolved, but I don't want it to be tight and flat and have everything be super refined looking. I think there's a refinement in rough textures and brushstrokes that aren't all blended together. And I hope to move forward in that direction a lot more. Yeah, just throwing the red in there. It's that's the lovely thing about oil paint is that, you know, it stays wet, and even if you stay away a little too long, it's still pretty tacky. You can kind of throw a color in there, and if it's a little too strong, you can just blend it in, and the paint will take the new pigment. With acrylic, you find yourself kind of, or at least I always found myself sort of dry brushing new colors onto the existing ones, which is fine too. But anyway, yeah, as I say in every video, feel free to leave questions. Now I'm working on the hand. Uh, Hands are historically tricky. Like with everything else, you have to kind of just try to see it for its, um, well, not for its disparate parts, for its large sections. And then as time goes by, you can add in more detail. But again, this painting, I'm not really striving for it to look like a, neoclassical, beautiful image. I want it to be rough and tumble, like the subject matter. That's always like something that I feel like more people don't really consider, and not just in painting, but in storytelling and writing and in movies. Like the style, shouldn't the style kind of reflect the subject matter? Like if you're making something dark and brutal, then shouldn't your brush strokes and your color choices line up with that? Otherwise, it might be kind of, well, maybe it would be a good contrast otherwise. I don't know. Comment below your opinions. Yeah, I don't know how people do YouTube, but I am enjoying it. I think this is my 11th video. Yeah, there is just an intensity to athleticism. I think it does kind of push people to extremes, and physical and emotional extremes are what I'm most drawn to in art. It's just hard to find people who are going to model, you know, something like this. I don't know any models who would be willing to, you know, lose a boxing match so that I could paint their portrait. Yeah, I can't really think of too much to say about how to go about this. There's a lot more freedom if you are trying to do something with, like I said, a sense of brutality. You don't have to be so precious. But I still wanted it to be precise. I want a rough confrontational sort of appearance, but I want it to be recognizable. So I still made a point to get a credible likeness of Anthony, whatever, of the boxer. Now we're just finishing up as much detail as is necessary. Little places, get the mustache, the facial hair more even, and now that is the finished image. So that is how we arrived at this image. And I hope you got something out of it. I hope you came on YouTube today because you were looking for a way to paint really disgusting bodily harm imagery. If so, you're welcome, and you should be represented. Anyway, blah blah blah. Thank you for watching. Please do click the like button and click the subscribe button, and I will see you next Monday. Um, Probably with a portrait, but who knows. Thank you again for watching. Bye.